Yeah, I'm here to push back on the anti-Maxine protesters that are coming in here today to start mess here with our representative, Maxine Waters. This is my neighborhood, and I'm an activist, and I'm here to protect Maxine Waters.
All power to the people!
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 Always said, push back. You only push back when somebody pushes you first.
The Oath Keepers sent word that they're not coming. We know that they never said anything to Donald Trump when he was inciting violence during his campaign. When black people were being punched in the face, he even offered to pay to get people out of jail if they would assault people. And so now all of a sudden they want to come to Maxine, number one because she's a woman, and number two because she's black, and they wanted to intimidate her. And now that they know we're here to defend her, they decided not to come.
Black power! Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
That cabinet, in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd, and you push back on them, and you tell them they're not welcome. The people are going to turn on them. They're going to protest. They're going to absolutely harass them until they decide that they're going to tell the president, no, I can't hang with you.
Not in D.C. Not in the U.S. Not in D.C. Not in the U.S. Not in D.C. Not in the U.S.
Our issue is strong borders, no crime. Their issue is open borders. Let MS-13 all over our country. That's what's going to happen if you listen to them.
Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am here sitting with Donovan throwing rocks and hiding his hand Sadiq. And this is another edition of the Demetra K Show. So thank you to those on Facebook, YouTube, and the podcast for joining us in this, what I hope to be a very insightful discussion, which it always is. It is the purpose of this show to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us better and to put us at the top, right? And so today we are going to be discussing, hey Billy, Black Power. We are going to be discussing Maxine Waters, but we're going to be discussing really the dynamics between Black men and women, but we're just going to start off with Maxine Waters. So I'll give you guys just a couple more seconds to come on before I go ahead and give you guys my information. All right, and so just briefly, me and Donovan had an opportunity to go out last night.
Retro night.
Retro night to a nightclub that was open about 25 years ago, and they kind of had a reunion, and so we went out. We rarely do that, and we had a good time. And
very good time.
Needless to say, we're kind of on the tired side. Hey, William. We're kind of the tired side, but it's all good. We're going to get through this. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to discuss the dynamics of Black men and Black women, but we're going to use the recent issue of Congresswoman Maxine Waters to set it off. Now, oops, let me see. Did I turn off my Wi-Fi? Yeah, my Wi-Fi is off. Okay, it was saying it was reconnecting, so bear with me. Okay, all right, so this past week, a right-wing white supremacy group, the Oath Keepers, that describes itself as a nonpartisan association of current and former military, police, and first responders who pledge to fulfill the oath that all military and police take in order to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, said that they were going to show up at Maxine Waters' office in South Los Angeles to protest her calling for people to harass members of Trump's administration. Remember when she said, when you see them out in public, you know, at the gas station or whatever, harass them and let them know that you are unhappy, and I'm paraphrasing, with what they're doing in regards to Trump's Family Separation Act. Okay, so the Oath Keepers were like, you know what? Maxine Waters, she's inciting a riot, or she's inciting people to riot, and so us being like some fake ass police officers. I mean, per what they're saying, we're gonna go out there and protest, and we know they weren't just gonna say, hey, we're just kumbaya, we're here to let Maxine Waters know it's unacceptable what she's doing.
It'd be like the old Crips and the Chips.
Yeah.
And that started when the white group was the Chips, and you had the Crips.
Right.
And this was the riots, and we went out there and kicked a little ass.
Right. But so we knew they weren't going to do that. We knew they were going to go out there and get ugly, as we've seen in places like Charleston, South Carolina, where these white supremacy and the far right, white supremacy, try to say that 5 times groups, where we saw in South Carolina where they ended up killing somebody and injuring many other people, just because they're there to protest, right? And so this particular group, they claim to have about 35,000 members, and they also say that they are very heavily armed. So anybody who follows, or not follows, but knows anything about militias in the United States know that they are heavily armed and that they're ready to do battle. They say their mission is to protect the government, but their other mission is to, I guess, fight against the government if they try to take their rights and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so
when whites' rights are threatened, they get violent.
Exactly. So we know they weren't going to
We're
go
supposed to be
and try
nonviolent, but they're violent.
Right. They weren't going to try to go be peacekeepers per se. All right. So with that being said, many other counter protesters like the NOI, workers unions, and the Black Panther Party showed up to protect and defend Maxine Waters. It should be noted that she was not there. She was in Washington, D.C., and she sent the memo out saying, you know what, you guys don't show up. I don't want anything to happen. But, supporters didn't listen to her, obviously, and they showed up anyway. Mm-hmm. Now, what else? And so it also should be noted that the Oath Keepers didn't show up either. I think once they learned that, okay, we're not going to just be able to go and just have our way and do our thing. Right. We got the Black Panthers out there. We got the NOI. We got people from the community. We got a lot of people out there. So we're not going to go and just kick in those doors and, have our way. These people are going to probably, by any means necessary, so.
They ain't afraid of us, basically.
Well, yeah. They say, they didn't want to go because they didn't want any problems. It's like, well, what do you expect is going to happen? You showing up in somebody's community with your, lily white, extra white self in somebody's community trying to, hold their black woman to, accountable. What you think was going to happen?
Right. And then why is it that have you guys noticed that whenever it comes to getting one black person, white people come in a gang?
Oh yeah, they're gonna go string Maxine Waters up.
They never come by themselves. But like I said, I'm not a Maxine Waters fan, but I'm very sure she can scrap if she had to.
Well, she said you better aim straight. So anyway, they didn't show up. I believe they were scared. I don't believe the fact that we just want to make sure everything was peaceful. Nah, y'all was scared. Let's keep it real, okay? Now, but that didn't. So the fact that Maxine Waters told everybody not to show up, that didn't stop people. They showed up anyway. All right. Now, among the supporters were the Black Panther Party. Now, for those of you guys who have lived under a rock your whole lives, the Black Panther Party was founded in 1966, and the mission of the Black Panther Party was to protect the community, the neighborhood, black people, against police brutality, in addition to building up the community by having a do-for-self mentality and different programs and things like that. And so we know that the Black Panther Party was targeted by the FBI as a hate group, and was ultimately dismantled for a while due to, a lot of the Black Panthers being political prisoners still in prison today, the murder of Fred Hampton, and, various other things that kind of crippled the organization. Well, we know that the organization is back, and it is thriving, and it is continuing to do the things in the community, like protecting black women. Now, I would be remiss to say that there's no opposition to protecting Maxine Waters, because a lot of people, especially a lot of people who live in the community, are like, well, Maxine Waters has dropped the ball with us. She hasn't done what she said she was going to do. She's, she's gone to Washington. She was, this is her 14th term. As a congresswoman,
28 years.
You're right. So she's gone to to Washington, and she's enriched herself. She's, pretty much, I don't want to say she's left the neighborhood in shambles, but the
she's left it 28 years, and your neighborhood hasn't thrived. Matter of fact, it's reverted worse than when she first got there.
That's where the criticism is. And so, you know, I would just like to say, and you know, the Black Panthers have also said this, you know, regardless, yeah, we're not going to lie and say, oh, you know, Maxine Waters has done everything, and I'm going to get to you guys' comments in just a second. We're not going to lie and say Maxine Waters has done everything she's supposed to do, because she hasn't, but at the same time, no way any good black man worth his weight as a good black man will allow another man, especially a white man, to run up into their community and take their black woman to task.
Well,
I don't care how you feel about that woman.
Okay, I'm gonna disagree with you on that. The new generation, you got guys that are seeing sisters fighting in the streets, and rather than breaking it up, they're videotaping.
Right, and so that needs to change. It should now, you know, I get it, she hasn't done her job, but that don't mean that we just step aside and say, well, hey, you know, white supremacy, go on in there and string her up by the neck and hold her accountable, because she's doing exactly what you guys are doing. Maxine Waters ain't doing nothing different than they've done. I mean, and Maxine is just talking, but those people have actually done harm to everybody that is not like them. And so, you know, and we see people like the Black Panthers and other organizations out there trying to bring awareness to what's going on. And instead of us sitting on the sidelines, we need to get involved. We need to stop, you know, just saying, oh, hey, look at them, look what they're doing, or watching from the news. We actually need to be out there, because in nobody else's community will you be able to go in there and do what you're doing, and do what they tried to do. And so I think what that did was send the signal to them that, okay, these black people ain't going, they're not going to continue to let us just do what we want to do to them.
Right, and you keep saying we. Do you have a mouse in your pocket?
What do you mean we?
You keep saying we.
We as black people.
Do you have a mouse in your pocket?
No, what you're saying don't include you in this? We include you, okay?
All right.
And so, Billy says, Black Power, Comrade Queen, Black Power to you. And William says, Black Power. And Al says, good, googly goo. You're so silly. And William says, and the African Town Coalition. Yes, that is a coalition in Los Angeles that does a lot of great things in the community, including boycotting businesses. I've seen them lately boycott a lot of Asian businesses that have done people in the community wrong, beating them up, and just a whole, yeah, you name a whole host of things. And it's, to me, what's really sad is these brothers and sisters are out there on the front lines trying to get people to stop going in there and giving the enemy, if you will, your money, and they go in there and try to justify, oh, I'm just going in there
real quick, get some zigzags.
Yeah, I'm just going in there.
Papers.
It's like, we trying to tell you that just the other day, a sister or a brother would have this and that done to them in this store, and you still gonna go in there?
I'm only, it's only zigzag, you know, paper $1.50. That's all I'm spending $1.50 in there. So that ain't gonna make a difference, is it?
Yeah, it's gonna make a difference, because they shouldn't get not one dime. But yet you got these brothers and sisters out there on the front lines trying to wake the people up, and they're just like the Walking Dead, you know? And so William also say many of us refer to as the Black Panther Party are actually the African Town Coalition. Okay, so it sounds like there's a little bit of a name change, but the premise is still the same, right? Hey, Tay. She says, hey, D and Donovan. And Eric, what's up? Oh, God, I'm scared to read your comments. So what about a black woman calling white cops on black men? We both need to do better with each other. Absolutely. And that is what we're going to talk about in a little bit later on. But, I mean, yeah, we don't. Okay, listen. I'm not telling black women not to call the police on the black man if, hold on a second, you guys. I hate a blurry lens. I'm not telling, I'm not saying, you know, if somebody's kicking your butt, that you say, well, you know what? I'm just not going to call.
Right, I'm just going to take this ass whipping like a woman.
I mean, I call my daddy, but I call my daddy before I call the police. But no, I get what you're saying, Eric. I mean, we need to find a way to get along. And Amanda says, "How was the Metro reunion? It was awesome. It was
no, like you said,
it was awesome.
Like you said last night, it ain't a reunion if you weren't there.
Oh yeah, Amanda, he said it wasn't a reunion if you weren't there. And Al says, when the Black Panthers called the beautiful sisters in the community, they said, "Can you hear me out?"
Yes, yes. And one thing about Boo, real quick, there was a sister there that was thick like you, but I mean, you had her beat hands down.
Right. And confidence, what's happening? I like that, confidence. Yes, shout out to African Town Coalition, watching from Jacksonville, Florida, by the way, of Nigeria. You know what, my sister, Amanda, is in Jacksonville. Yes. Hey, Quentin. And so, So I guess my question is this, and this is, I guess it's kind of a couple of old questions. When is it going to be okay to, and we're talking about black women right now, we're going to talk about a couple other things in a minute, but when is it going to be okay to unapologetically protect and respect black women? It is said that the black woman is the most unprotected and most disrespected person on the planet. And so, if her own man, and when I say her own man, the black man continually finds reasons not to protect her. Well, you know, she didn't do A, B, C, and D. My thing is, okay, let's say Maxine Waters ain't doing none of that. But I'm going to ask you brothers this, and maybe y'all can help me out a little bit. What does that say to you as a man, not even a black man, but just a man, that another man will come in your neighborhood or even think that he can come in your neighborhood and hold your black woman accountable and you ain't gonna do nothing? What does that say that he and many others like him think about you as a man? To me, that's the equivalent of a dude knocking on your door saying, you know what, I want to slap the mess out your woman because she cut me off in, you know, in traffic. See, you know, back in 1919, that might have, you know, worked because what you gonna do? You might get strung up, but we ain't in 1919. We in 2018, and so I'm asking you guys, what does that say about you, regardless of what Maxine Waters has done? Let's just take it from her being a black woman, that a white man of a white supremacy wanted to come in your neighborhood and get her straight. What does that say about you?
Yeah, just real quick, I tried to get that shadow off of your face.
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
So now, people that don't know me, you can see my shadow in the back. So
yes, and you guys will see him on the YouTube feed.
Yes.
And then so, used to know what's happening, says most blacks have the mentality of it's not me, it's not my business. Yes.
It is your business.
It is your business because, you know, like I said, I want you guys to name me one other race of people who make excuses not to protect each other and not to love each other. Armenians, they do that?
Kim Kardashian's being farmed out. And
you know
Kardashian
what?
family. No, but nobody's saying anything. They're not saying, hey, this is outrageous or whatever. The Armenians do that.
But they're not taking their women to task, you know, by saying.
But they're not.
I mean, okay.
You know, how dare these beautiful Armenian women deal with these Negroes?
Please, they're making money. I think that's what their main concern is, okay? But yeah, it is our business, you know, so like, if you see, let's say for instance, like you have the African Town Coalition, they're out there protesting and trying to bring awareness to things that's going on, especially if you live in a community, drive over there and help, even if it's for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, stand out there in solidarity, because the more the merrier, the more the mightier. The more you have out there, the more people are going to start to pay attention. They're going to start to say, okay, you know, these black people are starting to wake up.
But the sad thing is, we would rather sleep all day and then go hustle whatever our hustle is at night rather than stand up for our community.
Well, that's going to change, because at this point we don't have a choice. Well, I mean, we are now, and like I said, sometimes you have to ask yourself, is this 2018 or 1918?
Yeah, you know, the funny thing, during the LA riot, people were, you know, all my white friends, you know, I was on the basic front, they were saying, why are they burning up their own neighborhoods? Well, that isn't their neighborhoods, they're all renting there, so, or they're Section 8 or whatever, so destroying that community.
Well, anytime you see something like that, it's just a boiling point, and the pot has just boiled over. It's like, we can't take this anymore. Yeah, it might be where we live, but damn. You know?
But, you know, I'm just saying on that scale, it wasn't their property. They didn't lose anything.
Right. And in Holland, what's happening, you says weakness, indeed. And Tate says, the men in my family taught me that if your man won't go to war for you, he isn't worthy of you. Amen.
That's right. Why haven't you called me, girl?
But that is a word that we all need to take heed of. And Billy, you say, all power to the Black Panther Party National Defense Southern California chapter. That's right. And then Al says, don't forget, next Sunday the Demetra K show will be on the road at Magic Mountain. Yeah, we're going to Magic Mountain.
She was doing a lot of walking. Bring your walking shoe, because you ain't getting on the ride.
Eric, he says, because that same white man told her she is strong and she can do better without a man. Most say their son is their man. Yeah. Well, we know, Eric, that is starting to backfire. Not starting, but it is backfiring on us as a community, in that we believe the hype, especially black women, that we don't need or we didn't need black men. Well, that's a lie.
74% of black women have never been married.
Well, okay. But, you know, let's take Maxine Waters, for example. You know, who was out there? I mean, yeah, there were some sisters out there, but, you know, just think about it. If the Oath Keepers heard that there was going to be a bunch of women out there, you think they would have showed up like, what they going to do? But they knew that there was some men out there that was going to take them to task, and so they didn't show up. So we do need men. So we need to stop believing the hype. Oh, I don't need no man. Yeah, who you gonna call at 3 o'clock in the morning when somebody knocking at your front door? You probably gonna call a man. You ain't gonna call your good girlfriend, girl. What should I do?
There you go.
And then Tay says, I don't think the Armenian community claims the Kardashians. Donovan just be making up stuff.
You know, like I said, they are of Armenian descent. So
okay. And Eric says, I believe in protecting my woman, even if they don't ask for my help. Or my women, if they don't ask for my help, we are important to each other. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and everybody should have that attitude, because if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. And, you know, your woman, the black woman, is going to continuously be disrespected and unprotected.
I want to say something.
Yes. And Donovan raised his hand.
I raised my hand this time. I want to make sure I get recognized. I'm going to have to agree with you because, and I'm going to say this. For those of you guys that did not make the event last night, we sat there and we like to people watch, and we noticed, and those of us that know about the Metro, that a lot of the brothers my age, and some are older and some are younger, were coming in with other than, there was a lot of sisters there.
Oh yeah,
So,
we were at this reunion, and there was a lot of people with other people. They're not black women or what else. Yeah, black men with other women. So.
Right. So, and I bring that up to say there is something inherently ingrained where we have got in our minds that we don't want, especially as a man, where I'd rather get a light-skinned girl.
You don't want your own woman.
Yeah, you don't want your own woman.
Right.
And if you don't want your own woman, you won't protect her either.
Yeah, you don't think she's worthy of it.
Right.
And then Confidence, she says, my app is malfunctioning, but I would say the best international black organization to join and rebuild is the UNIA. That was Marcus Garvey's organization at ACL. Please enlighten me on the ACL. The acronym slips my mind. I'm not quite sure what that is. And Charles, what's happening? Says, good evening, D. As you already know how I feel about those treacherous, I can read y'all, establishment Democrats like Maxine Waters, John Lewis, MSNBC, Joy Reid, Congressional Black Caucus. When you sell your soul she works for the racist Democrat wing of the system of white supremacists. No, absolutely.
Is that my clone?
No, it's not your clone.
Because that's exactly the same stuff I've been saying.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said in the beginning, we would be lying to say that Maxine Waters and, like I said, John Lewis and the rest of them are not in bed with the white Democratic machine. They are. They work for them. They are their puppets, which is how they got enriched. What is Maxine Waters worth? $60 million?
$60 million. Her husband is worth over 112.
Now, indeed, you know, Maxine Waters and them, they weren't broke when she got into
But they weren't no millionaires.
No, they weren't millionaires, but I mean, he, you know, had his thing going on.
Yeah, he was in the banking institute.
Yeah, so it wasn't like they were just paupers, but yes. You know, so we know that they get enriched by the system to go, you know, take these talking points to the people. Just, you know, make them think they can, you know, rise above it, and then, you know, but just keep them right there. Don't incite them. And so now they're pissed off with Maxine because she has incited people. Like, you know what? Let's stop laying down. I don't, you know, maybe dementia. I don't know what's going on with her. Maybe she feels like she has enough money. She's 79 years old.
So I'm saying, when did these people walk? Get the hell up out of there.
There's never enough of more. There's always going to be a need to have more money. Like if I'm almost 80, last thing I'm going to be up there doing is fighting with Trump. I'm going to be on a cruise somewhere, you know. And Confidence, she said, we got to link globally and share information to heal. In my opinion, no, absolutely. And that starts, and we're going to get into this topic in just a second. That starts with us unifying. And Nancy says that Donovan is right. I think she was talking in regards to the Armenians. I'm not quite sure. Donovan's not often right around here, okay? So you have to be specific on what he's right about. And Tay says, I swear, if we could unify like Jews, Persians, and Mexicans, yeah.
I think she's saying I think she was saying I was right in regards to us going to the club last night with other women. if we don't even want our own women, then we won't protect our women.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, we do need to unify. It's like a lot of people are mad with Trump, and rightfully so, but Trump, as Donovan says all the time, is going to make the hood great again.
He is.
Trump is forcing black people to reckon with what was always there. We're acting like white supremacy and catching, white people on camera calling us niggers and, calling the police on us. We're acting like that stuff just happened because of Trump. No, Trump emboldened those people to do that. But that has always been there. It's just us refusing to see that. Oh gosh, if you just love me and accept me, we just need to get along within the system and then everything will just be okay.
And Trump's going to make us realize that welfare is not a system to live off of.
Hey, we got $1.3 trillion. Right. There's no reason why we need to be on the system. We, as a people, we are balling with the 9th or 11th largest economy in the world. Yeah. So come on.
I mean, but to feel emboldened or entitled that you're entitled to Section 8, you're entitled to this. He's going to put a stop to all of that.
Well, and true indeed, there's a lot of entitlement, but it's not just black people that are entitled.
But the thing is, again, me and you always get into this. I don't give a damn about Mexicans. I don't give a damn about white people. I'm worried about my
people. But the point that I'm making is, we say that as if it's just black people, and I like to clarify that as not. Right. That's just the narrative that's sold to us, is that, and you guys probably remember when Bill Clinton signed the welfare to work thing. Who did he have up there? He had black women. It was like, really? And then Ronald Reagan labeled, due to some black woman who was bilking the system, the welfare queen. So we got to be careful about that.
But we should not shame away from calling out our own people.
Oh no, we got to. And Houston says the black woman has known to work with many of our presidents and has turned their backs on black men a long time ago. And not to point the finger, but homosexuality is at an all-time high because of single mothers. Yeah. Well, that is the argument. I'm going to say, because I don't have any statistical data on that. I can see where you're going with it, though, as far as I will say this, just in my personal opinion, a lot of single moms that I have seen raise their sons have turned out to be gay. Now, I don't know if there's a connection, or if they're treating their sons like the good girlfriend, because I have seen that. They're taking them to the malls and to weddings and all that stuff.
Well, what I've seen is a lot of these women, they get so frustrated in the relationships that they're in. They're like, well, why not try this? They want to try the other side when they realize, hey,
I think he's talking in regards to turning the sons.
Yeah, turning the sons. But what I'm saying is, though, but with the women feel, let me try this, and you're having children, and they're seeing that behavior. That's where, to me, that's where the confusion comes in, the sexuality. Because what's the first thing as you're about 3 or 4 years old? They start talking about gender identification. You keep saying you're a boy, you're a girl. You keep saying that to the kids so they get their identification.
Oh, well, now you can't do that. You got to let the child choose what they want to be. Right. Hey, Jonah, what's happening? We're going to get into what we inboxed about yesterday as well. Just a few. And Charles says, having a pissing contest with Trump is low, easy fruit and plays into the emotionalism that we easily fall for. What has her votes done for her district? Protecting the corrupt establishment is anti-black. No, absolutely. So, like I said,
just drive through her district and you will see for yourself.
Well, I mean, they were there the other day. I mean, like I said, we're not saying that Maxine is perfect. All what we are saying, though, is in no way, shape, or form are white supremacists going to march and want to see themselves up into the community and have their way with this woman or anybody in that community, because you wouldn't be able to go up into wherever they live and stake your flag up in there talking about we finna hold your woman accountable. Try it and see what happens.
They come out with this.
So they shouldn't be able to do it to anybody, including Maxine Waters. But I will say this. Maybe Maxine Waters now needs to take heed to what is going on and say, you know what?
No, what she needs to do is retire and let somebody else.
I'm saying, she might not have a choice because her she's being opposed by a Hispanic guy. His name slips my mind, but he's a big time Republican and he's playing into out of the Republican playbook as far as black people being on welfare. And I saw one of his tweets where he said, in regards to the flag burning that took place during the protest, maybe we should take their welfare checks away for a couple of months, and that'll teach them a lesson.
For a couple of months.
So this is the guy who is trying to run for Congress. He's running against Maxine Waters. And so to me, I thought, well, if I was Maxine Waters, that would be an eye-opening, awakening for me. Like, wow, some stuff. And this is how they talk about my people? I'm just saying.
Good point.
And so
like that.
Al says, if me and you were in the hood and a bunch of brothers roll up to in a beat-up car to start some mess, I'm scared to read this. We're going to run fast like Scooby-Doo and Shaggy because I'm light-skinned and can't go to jail.
He's too good looking to go to jail.
And be the white bread to some mate sandwich. Oh my God, some inmate sandwiches.
Yeah, it'll be like an episode of the penitentiary.
You won't go to jail.
The Midnight Thug.
Holland. He says, prime example of a lot of these rich athletes rather give his money to the white woman instead of her own sister. Yeah. Y'all getting these multi-million-dollar contracts and y'all rolling out with Becky. You know, imagine all that money.
And like Becky is quietly suing your butt and taking some of that money with her.
Let me look at somebody like LeBron James. I mean, I know, you know, he's not really a fan favorite of a lot of people, but you gotta give the dude props. He's with a black woman, building black businesses. He employs a lot of black people, and so.
Okay, let me ask you this: you don't think that he has a side chick?
I mean, do we know he has a side chick? I don't know if he has a side chick.
Most likely he does.
It's said that he doesn't. If he does or he does, I don't know.
Most likely he does.
But his main chick is what though?
Yeah, that's his
sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
His high school sweetheart. His high school sweetheart.
And his high school sweetheart, right? He ain't giving that money, you know, to somebody else. And Eric says, way to go, Charles. I think that's what he was saying as far as holding Maxine accountable. No, she definitely should be held accountable. And Holland was asking the side to come on and used to know. He says, we as a people will not find our community and find our unity until the black woman of the community once again find their self-worth. Absolutely. It says a nation can rise no higher than its woman. And so when we as black women are not acting in an orderly fashion and doing things that are lackluster, the whole house falls. For those of you guys that read the Bible, it says a woman has the ability to build up the house with her hands, and she also has the same ability to tear it down. So it's like, which woman are you going to be? Are you going to be the woman that is building up the house, or are you going to be the woman that's tearing down? Now, when I say house, I'm talking specifically of where we live individually, but more so of the community, because it is going to be on us to keep the community together. So I 100% agree with you with that.
I just want to talk about last night too. You know, we were at the club, whatever. You know, the reunion. You can't say club because we were at a club, and very good venue. And the initial place that hosted this event is owned by Hispanics, and I advocated for this club to give the guy a chance, whatever the deal is. If you know the history about the Metro, there's a lot of negativity attached to it because some things have happened there in the past, in the 90s. But in regards to our women, again, me and Dee were there. We were people watching. Dee was having a good time. I was having a good time. Some of the women that were our age that were coming in there, you know, there were some women that, you know, it's obvious they were still living in the 90s. Some of them were still, you know, and I'm not trying to be negative. What I'm saying is all these women were beautiful. Don't get me wrong. There's one lady, a light-skinned lady, but she was having a good time. She was just, you know, really enjoying herself, having fun. But you had some there that were just mean mugging. You had the weeds all over the place. You know, it's like they were on a search and kill mission.
Well, I mean, you know, I just think the black woman, as with the black man, we got a lot going on and a lot of baggage, just not even before we were here to deal with.
And if you guys ever go to a reunion again, remember this. Now, remember in the 90s, everybody had their high top fades or whatever the deal is. Just about all the brothers in there, we were all
bald as hell. And Holland says Trump is shutting down the system. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. And I guess we said before, he's forcing black people to say, okay, wait a minute now, wait, hold on. Start
being great again. That's what he's trying to say. Be great.
Yeah, I mean,
we're going to survive. There's no doubt. If they gave us nothing right now, we will still survive.
All we got is us. That's what Trump is showing us. All we got is us. And then we also say, I'm kind of glad he's shutting down the system. You know what? Me too. Trump does some jacked up stuff and says some jacked up stuff, but I don't really feel like, for me personally and black people, it's going to be bad. I think it's going to work out in our favor, actually. Not that, you know, the stuff he's doing is good, but I just think no matter who's in office, black people still need to get our stuff together.
Yeah, we still need to get our stuff together, but it's just like the housing crisis and the boom and the economy and the jobs. We're at the bottom of the totem pole. I mean, you've got black folks that don't even know there's a recession when the recession was going on all the time because, you know, we're just here.
Right.
And we are great people, and if, you know, if we can survive, because you got white guys, $120,000, they're jumping out of windows. You know, for salary.
Yeah.
Where for us, that'd be like, wow, that's a come up.
Well, yeah, it's just kind of a way of life. But,
right.
you know, we need to get out of that.
Yeah.
The case says we need to end this hood rich mentality. You know, absolutely. There's, yeah, that's that. I don't understand it. Right. Quite honestly.
I don't know why she's talking about it with all the coins she making.
Like you take it. It says there are more white people on welfare than there is black people.
Well,
absolutely.
Okay, and I'm not disagreeing with that. Mathematically, if we're only 13% of the population and white people make up 46% of the population, statistically, of course, they're going to be more. But if you look at their population by itself compared to our population, there are more of us per capita in our population versus their population.
Well, yeah, but there's, you know, to that point, they have more opportunities than black people.
Absolutely.
Too. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's deeper than the surface of, well, black people are just on welfare.
Well, you know, and I don't mean to disrespect for that person because that's good information. A lot of people don't know that. That is true. But that argument doesn't go anywhere when you say that. It's like, okay, they got it. There's more than them. So what does that mean?
Well, what it means is we need to stop falling for don't believe the hype, and that is just black people that are on welfare. Because every time I go to the store, I see a Hispanic pulling out their EBT card.
So
I've seen Asians do it. I see white people do it. I was at Trader Joe's and I was kind of shocked when I saw a white lady pull out an EBT card.
Well, the thing is, when it comes to that stuff like that, I think it's a regional thing. So, you know, whenever I see that, California, we probably have more people on the system than any other state.
Well, hell, because you need a king's ransom to pay rent around
here. So, I know, but that's good information, whoever said that. But I'm just saying, every time somebody says that, mathematically, of course, but if you look at their population, even though they're higher than us, compared to our population, 13%, we have a higher rate of our population within our population that is on welfare. And to me, that's unacceptable.
And Nancy says, you think women got it bad here. Ghana, Uganda have their president stepping in about police beating on women. Yeah, unarguably, rather, women in the United States have it far better than most women in the world. Holland says a woman can't raise her son to be a man. Absolutely, we need to stop that madness too. He also says it takes a man to raise a man. Absolutely. Right. And Billy says it goes both ways. The woman says she don't need a man, and the man saying they don't need a woman. Absolutely, it takes two. We need each other. And Al says, I have a female friend who is Mexican and a dwarf. Her name is Paragraph because she's too short to be an essay.
I think the term is little people. They don't like the term dwarf.
Yeah. But Charles says, crazy, blaming homosexuality on black women. What I see is by whatever means the black man is missing in action, though government intervention to disrupt the black family. Black family union. I am agnostic, but there is huge spiritual wickedness in very high places at force here. The images and propaganda system, entertainment. A man gets a woman pregnant. Don't raise them. Damn sure don't teach them. Let me hush, but I soundly reject the blaming the black woman of homosexuality. And that's why I said I don't know any statistics or anything factual that backs that up. In my opinion, what I've seen that. I don't know if there's a direct correlation, but I agree in that when the black woman gets blamed for stuff, it absolves the black man of his role. Because if a black woman is raising her children by herself, to me, the other question should be, okay, well, where's the daddy?
Right.
Why does he get off the hook? I mean, why is it her sole responsibility to raise the child? And so I thank you for that. That's the point.
But that's good. But he's missing one thing. To sit there and say that there isn't a probability that is part of the problem is ridiculous, because it's just like, you can't sit there and tell me, again, my biggest thing is weave. You can't sit and tell me seeing mommy having her weave on her head doesn't fundamentally affect her children. It does.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would agree with that. It does raise some issues, but as far as a black woman,
overall,
her son gay,
but in some instances, it probably does.
Well, we don't know though.
Right, but again,
to this point, if a black woman has the ability to turn her son gay, what role does the father not be? Now, we're talking about a single black mom. So what role does a single or the missing father have in making the son gay, if that argument is true?
Well, like I said, depending on the role of the father, is he in jail where he can't have any influence?
He's not there.
Okay, but like I said,
right.
You know, whatever your situation, like I wasn't there for my oldest son most of the time. He's not gay.
But you still had influence in his life. It wasn't just like you checked out.
Right,
you know?
Exactly. But what I'm saying, as somebody who has a degree, and that was brought up, there is a portion of that, even if it's a small portion, let's say 2%, let's say 1%, that might be, we don't know because nobody's an expert.
Right.
But it does have an influence.
You say they shouldn't even have the thought, without the total fear of death over their being, when it comes to speaking of harming any black woman, especially a sister like Maxine Waters, that's doing her best with what she knows to improve things for us in all this nation. You better watch out now, Jonelle.
Okay, Jonelle, I'm going to have to say this. I'm not going to disagree with you because we're here to have a discussion. But the point of the matter is, if you look at her record, she cannot say anything of significance. And she's going to lose that district based on everybody has seen that she has been exposed for what she is.
Right.
She is a race traitor.
And used to know. He says we need to adopt the "it's never too late" mentality black men has let our race down, and also the black woman. We need to stand as a united front. We have let each other down. We are getting weaker every generation. Yes, and so. As long as we keep pointing the finger, well, it's the black man, it's the black woman, it's the black man, it's the black woman. It's us.
Us, exactly.
It is us.
Everybody
equal,
right? Equal blame.
And Eric says, this is why I say the white women are the most dangerous person on the planet. She can use her gender to fool other women, and she birthed, raised, and guide the most feared white man. Yeah, I mean.
Well, again, let's talk about, okay, Maxine Waters, let's talk about Beyonce. How are you going to talk about single ladies and you're married?
Well, that's only for people who fall for that.
Right, but that's what's happening in the media and things like that. These Cardi B's and all these people and these young people.
You gotta educate yourself. Don't let those people educate you.
Right.
And then Billy says also the housing authority was used to break up the black family.
Absolutely.
And it's been working great ever since.
I mean, think about it. I'm 17 years old. I'm a young woman. And I get pregnant. I want to get out of my mom's house. My mom's putting undue pressure on me. For some reason, there's a schism. And we all know these women get a certain age. They, they get a little titty, get a little booty. They think they got the gold pot. And you guys realize that. And, you want to be a woman. You're not going to do that in your mom's house. So you guys want to run out and do that. All you got to do is get pregnant. They're going to give you a housing voucher, food stamps. You're going to be set. I'm just saying. A young man, 17 years old, that's not going to happen for him.
Right. I mean, I've never been in that situation, so I don't know if that's a motive to get pregnant. Or
No.
No,
I'm not saying it's a motive.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is it's a safety net for them. If you got pregnant, you can go get a place.
Right.
If worst case scenario, the government is now your man.
Right, but that the housing, situation was all by design. Get rid of
absolutely.
your man, girl.
Absolutely.
Get rid of your
But
man.
now these girls, it's a safety net. If these things don't work out, I can always do this and have a place to live.
Yeah, and the same thing's still going on. And Nancy says all the whites are in Walmart in the fat cart buying snacks. I always walk up and tell them the salads are in the front. Wow.
Wow.
Hey, Samuel, used to know. He says, but welfare hurts our community even more. Welfare and child support has the average black father making $7 an hour.
Yeah.
Y'all, we talked about this once before, and
you can go on YouTube and go to the Demetri page.
Listen,
and our videos are there if you want to review them.
Well, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago on this show, and somebody says, "What are we talking about again?" I'm gonna just say this, and I know it's not popular, and I know it ain't fair, but if you know that the child support system is not for you as a black man, stop making babies you ain't gonna be there for. Stop laying down with women you really don't want to be with. To me, it's that simple. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know.
Okay. It's hard, trust me. You see this? Did you see where some of those girls were
Well, when
dressed
it's
last night?
hard, you need to think about before you do something
No,
with it.
I thought you were gonna say when it's hard, you better make it soft.
Don't make it soft with somebody you ain't trying to spend 18 years with.
I mean, like I said, we were at that club. You see where some of the women were dressed? And
What?
you're thinking,
Wait,
whoa.
but y'all fall for it though.
Because that's something ingrained in animals.
Well, then stop crying about making $7 an hour when you get put in the child support system.
Yes, ma'am.
And Charles says, yes, these show me the scientific data, not assumptions. I'm with you on that one. And Allison, hey, Donovan, pick one only. Was the worst club? Ghetto, I mean Metro, a Wonder Woman weave, watered down drinks. You know what? DJ don't play nothing good, or the club not opening the doors with people standing around for hours. I'm sorry, kind.
I went off about starting on time. I could deal with everything else. I was in line, and they played my theme song, Return to the Mac, and I'm sitting waiting at the door. And we got there at 9:40. The thing was supposed to open up at 9. They got my money. Wasn't that my main complaint?
For like 30 minutes.
30 minutes. I was going off. But I was entertaining people as we were sitting in line. They were laughing, listening to our conversation.
Is that what it was?
Entertainment, yeah.
Okay. And now, let's see.
And Al, she had a mini dress on.
He a lie. Used to know says black women assume no responsibility if it's no father. What about uncles, brothers, males, friends? Most black women oppose their son being disciplined. No, I mean, hey, I agree. There's no excuse not to have an influential man around your son. None whatsoever. And I do agree with you on that. A lot of black women, not all, but some think that that's my king, that's the man of the house. Oh, my boo, my this, my that. But it's like, that's not your man, that's your son, and he needs direction, you know? So I agree with you. And Shantae, you say, Donovan isn't wrong. I have cousins that use government assistance like it's their baby daddy. Yeah, that's learned behavior.
Yeah, it's learned behavior.
Yeah.
It's not wrong because the system, we're supposed to be a Christian country. The system was put there.
Hold on, and for you guys on the podcast, we will be right back in the second hour.
The system was put there to help and supplement those. Look, if you got a job and you need $100 for food stamps, that's what's supposed to be there for, to help you out because you're doing the most of the work.
And Tate, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. More than likely, the cousins and people like that have watched their mothers
do it,
or the females in their family
gain the system.
Okay, gain the system.
Gain the system.
So
I'm not saying it's wrong, but it isn't a lifestyle.
It's not. It shouldn't be a way of life. It's supposed to be. It was meant to be because even back in FDR days, black people couldn't even get welfare or anything like that, which is how we as black people ended up being Democrats. Because the Democrats used that in giving us social services, because before it was just white people getting it. They used that to lure us over because even though we didn't have voters' rights per se, we still could vote. And so they used us. And so, when we talk about the Democratic Party being, for black people, it wasn't that way originally. It still is not now, but originally they're like, we need these Negroes. Let's give them some food stamps. Let's put a chicken in every pot.
Lyndon Johnson said, I'll sign this Voting Rights Act and the Affirmative Action Act and keep these niggers on welfare for the next 500 years.
Yeah, man. Well, hey,
voting Democrat for the
we're well on our way. And then Holly gave it a thumbs up. And then Charles says, and what in the F is up with these young men wearing skinny jeans? My little brother calls them sagatites. He said because they be sagging the pants and they look like tights.
Well, you want to see something that really kills you? Last night, you had guys that were our age and a little bit older, still with gang attire on.
They can't let it go.
They can't let it go.
One day. Al says most of the black men who unfortunately give up on sisters who can't get a Becky wind up dating rich Chinese women named Cha-Ching. Stop it. Hey, let me see if I can get this right. Azrael. I hope I said that right. It says, but child support is used as nothing but a trap to begin with. Not saying you don't see women paying child support, but it's a rarity. No, absolutely. It is a trap. And I think, say, for whatever reason, you don't work out, you and the man don't work, don't end up making it together. That doesn't mean you need to go right to the man. I'll put him on some child support. Sit down with that brother and say, listen, okay, me and you didn't make it. Let's come up with something so we can both financially take care of this child. Most women know that, the baby daddy is, what they're making. And damn well he's not going to be able to afford to pay you $500, $600, $700, $800 in child support. That's going to leave him working 2 or 3 jobs. Therefore, he's not going to be able to spend any time with the child. I mean, it's like we all need to be realistic in this situation.
And then, you know, and like I said, I'm not blaming women like that. But when you meet a guy, you're not asking questions, and you find out he's got 3 or 4 kids. And here's a good example in the social media. Stevie J just married Faith Evans. Now, everybody knows how many kids does Stevie J have? Why would you?
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah. Why would you put yourself? A lot of regular people, girls do that. The guy's got 2 or 3 kids over here, and you still ended up getting pregnant by him.
Right.
So,
and then you see Faith doing it. It's like, well, she did.
yeah, but you know what I'm saying is our decision-making process on both sides. If I was a woman, or even as a man, if I see a woman that has 5, 6 kids, I gotta step off of that.
Not for you.
Yeah, it's not for me. Unless, of course, it's like with her one husband,
right.
and everything's cool. But when she's got 3, 4 different baby daddies, I can't do it.
And Charles says, skinny jeans are sagging, shaking my head, but I also weep too because they are the future. No, absolutely. It's like,
not my son's future.
Well, yeah, but what happened to the men who wore their pants? As my dad say, what's wrong with these boys say sagging their pants up off their ass?
Exactly.
That's what he said.
And the question is, that's fine. You want to sag your pants? That's fine. What woman worth her weight in anything is going to think and want that?
That's swag. Not sag, that's swag.
So his dirty ass, stanky ass, funky ass draw showing.
That's swag.
You think you got something
that's
as a woman.
Swag.
Crazy.
And Samuel says, getting on late, there is a homosexual agenda and a concerted effort to feminize the man and masculinize the woman. It's done chemically. Said GR media, breaking up families, etc. We see. Oops. Okay, yeah, let's see. Oops. Go back. Okay, we should see the hidden hand and stop blaming each other. Come together and fight the power. No, absolutely. It's just we're not getting anywhere. We're just playing tug of war. It's your fault. No, it's your fault.
And I agree with that. But the thing is, when we don't say nothing at all, because we haven't done that in 30 years, it's gotten worse.
Well, I'm in PR, you guys, and I talk about this all the time. It's about delivery. A lot of times we have a lot of these so-called black people or black leaders or black conscious people. They want to ram stuff down people's throats. You this, you that, you this. It's about delivery. It's how you talk to people. In my opinion, it's how you talk to people. But is there a homosexual agenda?
Yes,
I absolutely agree that there is.
And especially against the black man.
Oh, absolutely. And Usanobi says it's not that simple. Women have an out system they can leave at any time and still be supported. So the chances of most women following the lead of a man, meaning obedient, is slim. And we're going to talk about that right now after I read the rest of you guys' comments. Because somebody actually asked me about that very thing you just said. And Jonelle says, I wouldn't be surprised if she's not reelected, but it's on us to secure our black women, especially against a system of government that has zero for us and nothing but theft. No, absolutely. I mean, she's being challenged by a Hispanic guy who is speaking that Trump rhetoric. He holds their welfare checks.
Yes. And here's one thing, Jonelle, I want you to realize.
Jonelle,
I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Here in California, when a district that was predominantly black or represented by a black person, now what is happening here in California, they're usually challenged by Hispanic, that district is gone because we are disappearing.
We don't have the votes.
Yeah, we don't have the votes. So once it's gone, it's gone.
But I'm like, how ironic, Maxine.
Right.
You up here, Trump, we won't have them doing this to the Hispanics. We won't have them. All the borders need this. And here's one of their very own talking about you and your people. Wow.
And it's just like the Hispanics said, they are going to recolonize the West Coast.
They're going to reproduce. And
by any way, Republican or Democrat. They're coming in, and here in California, because we are disappearing and leaving or dying or whatever our situation is, a lot of these districts are systematically turning Hispanic. I'm not saying I have a problem with it. What I'm saying is...
that's the way it's going.
It's going, right.
And Holland says Sagatites laughing my butt off. That's what we call them, Sagatites. And then I used to know to say it's greed. Honey, what's happening? He says, shoot, we're out here being independent, but the rent is so damn high. Most women are in relationships just to help pay bills. And I mean, no lies were told there.
Right.
I mean, especially in California, it's like, damn. People got 2 or 3 or 4, 15 gigs trying to, you know, make $1 and 15 or out of 15 cents.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you, I don't really have a lot of overhead. I don't have rent. I don't have a mortgage. For me, just to live.
Well, lucky you.
No. What I'm saying is, I'm sure how high it is to live here. I still average $2,000 a month.
Just
in expenses. Just expenses.
Right. But you know, she's absolutely right, and so. You know, and anybody, I've never been on Section 8 or any of that stuff, but I can imagine it's not nothing to brag about. You're not living, you know, fat, and, you know, doing everything you want to do. I'm sure you're just getting by. And so at this point, yeah, we need to pool our resources together and, you know, get together. And Azrael, you say these women got these dudes hit up on child support, but keep them from their kids. And the system does nothing to enforce women to let these brothers see their kids. Well, I'm going to say this to you, and I had this conversation with a young man earlier. A lot of times women will use the child becomes a weapon. The child becomes a gun, per se. And that if you don't do this, I'm not going to let you see your child. If you don't do that, I'm not going to let you see your child. But you know what? At the very least, take her to see the man. Hell, she's going to take you to see the man. Take her to see the man and say, I'm trying to see my child. I can't see my child. I need some custody drawn up. And that way, when she talks about, well, you can't see your child today, call the popo and whip out the papers, and they should enforce the law.
And
that's the way it works.
And I say that all the time. If she's going to weaponize the law against you, you can do the exact same thing.
Yeah, but I you know, brothers, stop allowing these women to just, you know, that's your child. And at the end of the day, as a father, you should do everything to your last dying breath to make sure that you are in that child's life. I hear men say all the time, well, she won't let me. How? What you mean? Yeah. She ain't got that kind of power. You only giving her that power. And Tay says, Stevie J has 6 kids and a grandbaby and is over $1 million behind the child support.
Why would you marry that?
Golly, I wouldn't be in the same room with him. Yeah, what's going on, babe? Golly, that's... I mean, I don't know.
Is she that desperate for a hit record?
I don't know a bunch about Stevie J, but yeah, like you said, it doesn't seem like somebody you want to be in a relationship with. Lord have mercy. And these people are in their 40s. Yep. Al, you say, hey, Donovan, my daughter's aunt has 6 kids and gets over $600 a month in food stamps and gives the half of it to her baby daddy so he can buy drugs and Hennessy. Shaking my head.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're going to survive regardless, but it shouldn't be a lifestyle. See, so if the government was checking up on these people, like catching them and cutting them, man.
Samuel says, sagging is fagging.
Amen, brother.
But I'm going to tell you guys this too. $600 in food stamps, you know what you can do with that? You know what other communities do, like the Asians and Hispanics? Yeah. They take some of those food stamps, they buy a big ass thing of rice, and they make plates and dinners, and they sell them.
What's that, Smart and Final? And you buy in bulk.
Buy in bulk,
and then they share.
They flip it over, but we selling it for drugs and alcohol. Yeah. I mean, and then at the end of the month, talking about my babies ain't got no food, and you standing up at the food bank.
And what kills me is, okay, don't get me wrong, you know, it's exciting. The brother's a drug dealer, whatever deal is. How many drug dealers that you know of right now? And please don't say Jay-Z and people like that. That the average person that are our age that is like got a nice house and got something. These guys are all in the streets doing nothing.
Well, I mean, that's a very short lived. You know,
and they have nothing to show for it. So you spend all that time destroying the community, Ray and Pookie, and then you're 40, 46, almost 50. You're out here, because it's a young man's hustle. You got to be a young man to do that.
Yeah.
And you're out here becoming a problem in our community and in society.
And Charles says, you're right, delivery, empathy. Yeah, well, we got to start talking to each other in love. You know, everybody is not where we are. We need to understand that.
When I went up to that woman last night with the pink hair, I went up to her in love and I said, sister.
You ain't do no such thing. Man, you know you would have got your wig smashed talking to a sister about her hair.
They were pretty rough. But they had some, I'm going to tell you another thing. When the sisters.
They talking about this club.
Yeah, no, I'm going to say it was a good venue. It was a good night. I'm glad it was an older crowd, which was really, really good. But props to the sisters, because when they do go out to have a good time, they do get dressed up in the nines, and they do look very, very nice. So I'm going to give them that. And yeah, the weave did look, nice that were on the girls that had it. So I'll give you that.
Well, thank you. So. But yeah, we got to also, to your point, we have to realize that everybody is not where we are as far as knowledge and all that other stuff. Somebody's trying to go live with me. Silly somebody. And Jonelle says, we got to be aware and should be aware of the games and systems this ill-minded anti-black government have and play for us. As Dick Gregory would shout, what kind of fool is you, huh?
Yep, amen.
Let's see. Oops. Let's see more. Go back. The nation has never had our best interest in mind since the slave ships. We have been and still is free economics for this white nation via our labor and bodies. Yeah, I mean, come on. And the minister talks about it all the time. He says, you're not going to go into an Asian community and sell them egg foo young. Nope. They're going to run you up out of there. Nope. It's not going to happen. Right. They're going to be like, I'm sorry. Right. We don't buy from you. We buy from ourselves. You guys buy from us, but we don't buy from you. Right. And so you also say, our disunity is our disservice. As the minister has said, no one individual can rise beyond the condition of their people. Maxine Waters losing due to Mexican unity is evident of this. You snooze. Let's see. You snooze, you lose. And the white nation banks on our disunity and slumber. Yeah, but you know what, Jonelle? We got to take Maxine to task a little bit. Simply because, you know, if anybody should realize that, it should be her, right?
28 years. And the community is worse than when you first got in. But she's
up there rallying for immigration. It's like, well, if you would just go that much harder for black people. Right. And now, look, they ain't got no loyalty for you. This dude is talking about you and your people like we dogs. Mm-hmm. But yet you sit up there, oh, we won't have Trump doing this. Oh, the
it's illegal. A distraction tactic.
Yeah, right. But it's like that should be a rude awakening to her. Like, damn, I've been doing all this caping, and look how they doing me. Mm-hmm. But I agree, our disunity is benefiting everybody else.
And that's why Congress wants to regulate the internet so that shows like yours and all this information that you can get other than the sound bites can be controlled. Right. Both parties. Mm-hmm. So.
And Honey says, men's are always faulting the mother of their children about the child support, but these deadbeats need to man up and help out so there wouldn't be no need to have the county in their business. Let's see. In their business, know who you're having children with. Absolutely. I mean, I agree with you 100%. I'm not saying that being in the child support system is nice. I mean, I've heard a lot of horror stories and all that kind of stuff, but stop sleeping with these women unprotected. Stop doing that. Like, it's hard.
Yeah, can I say this? Now, the definition of a deadbeat, when a person is receiving assistance from the government or from this, wouldn't that be a definition of a deadbeat?
Yeah, I mean,
they're not doing it on themselves.
Well,
what I'm trying to say is the connotation of the deadbeat dad. No, there's a lot of deadbeat moms.
There's a deadbeat everywhere, but to her point, and I think it should, should be heard, is that, yeah, you lay down with a woman and you decide you don't want to take care of the child. Listen, you can decide you don't want to be with me, but you can't decide that you want to walk away from your responsibility.
Wait, but what about all these women that are laying down with these men for fun and ending up pregnant and not protecting themselves?
You know what? The child ain't got nothing to do with it. If somebody needs to take care of it.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is that if I'm a one-night stand to you and you're going to make me a father, you can't make me a...
If anybody should have cared about that, it was you.
Okay, gotcha.
Plain and simple. You laying down with somebody you ain't never met, and she talking about, hello, this is your baby.
Well, see, that's why I always change my name and my whole bio when I go out.
And it's, let's see, Sexelli says, hi.
Hello.
And Jonelle says, I think fate has gone the route of Mary J. Hooked to a bad choice. Hopefully she got a prenuptial and does the mad time by faith. But it's a case of low self-esteem and being stuck at Doran Street, a bad boy images. I don't get it. But all right, Faith, you'll have a reality show when Stevie J
but I don't see that
shows you who he already shown himself to be.
Yeah, I don't see that union lasting over 2 years.
And then you also say, Jonelle, right, she should, but awaken. I don't see any more comments, and so we're going to actually transition into... I'll merge them together because Jonelle, me and you talked briefly on Messenger about the definition of self-love and the need for us to unify because we, as we always talk about, we are becoming extinct. And so I took it upon myself to look up the definition of self-love. I know what it is, but I want to be a little bit technical. And so let's see. Where is my... Oh, okay. So the definition of self-love is regards for one's own well-being and happiness, chiefly considered as desirable rather than a narcissistic characteristic. And so self-love means that you have a high regard for yourself, you love yourself, and you will never do anything to harm yourself or put yourself in harm's way. And so when we're talking about self-love, as far as Black community, obviously we're talking about self, and we're talking about a love for our fellow brother and sister. And because we lack that, we lack everything else, because if we truly loved ourselves and knew what self-love was, we would not be giving our money away. We would not be putting everybody else's issues before ours. We would not be doing a whole lot of things that we are doing. We would say, you know what? The first law of nature is self-preservation, and we're going to take care of home first. Now, we have it in the schedule to take care of everybody else, and that's what we're going to do. But until then, we're going to take care of Black people first, unapologetically, because everybody else does that for themselves. Hispanics do it for themselves, Asians, Arabs, you name it. Everybody else takes care of themselves first. And then you also say we need to realize pleasure is a responsibility. Don't get involved with anyone you don't desire to deal with results of a child. I mean, like, Jonelle, help me out. Why is that a hard concept for people to follow? I don't think it's that hard, you know. And then Allie says a lot of us men have that no intentions. A lot of us men that have no intentions with being with the baby mama take the L out of lover and tell her we are over. Yeah, okay, yes. We can be over, but you ain't gonna be over paying for this child. I mean, don't get mad about that. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Well, he don't want to be with me, so I'm just going to let him shirk his responsibilities and not take care of his child.
What responsibility?
Well, financially take care of your child. Because nobody can make you be there.
Right, exactly. And I'm tired of these women talking about, I want my child to have his father in his life. You can't make a man that don't want to be there.
That's true, but I don't think there's anything wrong with a woman wanting the father to be there.
Well, you should have thought about that before you got involved with a married man.
Right, but so then we can't keep, I agree, I think it's a two-way street. But we can't keep holding the woman attached and saying, well, the daddy gets a free pass, but you child, you know he didn't want to be involved with the child. But then we say, well, the mama's making him gay. Or the mama's making him good the way it is.
Wait, do you know what's really bad?
What's bad?
All these examples we have in horror stories that these younger kids have heard.
Absolutely.
And yet they still fall into the same
They don't believe
trap.
fat meat is greasy.
Right.
Samuel says, essay defining, as you say, EC, defining deadbeats and why do we use the enemy's language to perpetrate and reinforce our put downs and thus becoming self-refueling, as Willie Lynch said. Yeah, absolutely.
Amen,
and as Donovan said, we know that the deadbeat baby daddy, the black man, is a myth. The black man is more involved with his child more than any other man in the United States. That is a fact. But we keep hearing, that's why I push back a lot when we try to reinforce these narratives. Oh, black people on welfare. Oh, the black baby deadbeat daddy. That's what they want us to believe about us.
Ourselves.
And so I agree with you. We need to stop perpetuating that and, you know, reinforcing negative, false stereotypes about us. You also say the system reinforces the bad behavior. No, absolutely. And Honey says, when we're out there protesting, our people are the main ones coming to cross the line and being confrontational as we black people are lost. Yeah, because I've seen you guys out there. You guys were, oh gosh, what was the name of that liquor store you guys were out there protesting? I can't remember the name of the store. But I saw this one time you guys were out there and this black lady, she was about to get him up with y'all. She was about to, I mean, she jumping in, I don't know who's holding the camera, but she jumping in his face. She, you know, going the back for the Asian dude, because at the time he was giving away free food or he's barbecuing or something. And she was, you know, barking at the dude. I mean, she was going.
And then when he knocks her ass out, oh, police.
Yeah, but it's like, what has this man done for you to be acting like that with your brother? He ain't out there because he ain't got nothing better to do. He's saying, hey, these people don't need to, it was Herbert's Liquor, I think it was. These people don't need to be in business because they don't treat the community right. And she's about to, like, get him up over this Asian dude.
Maybe she's his side piece.
He gave her a hot dog.
But maybe she's a side piece.
I doubt it.
Her business.
That's seriously doubt it. He knew in the community who he could get to go toe-to-toe with the people.
Yeah, as we know, black women are highly desired sexually. in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so.
And then Al says, my stepdad's side piece won't have sex with him, so he so now he practices self-love with both hands. Oh my God! You guys don't know, Al is the resident comedian.
Yes, he's our studio comedian.
Herbert's, yeah. That's where you guys are, Liquorland. And so yeah, I saw that, and the lady was trying to fight with y'all. Like, golly.
What's the name of that organization?
African Town Coalition.
African Town Coalition.
This lady was about to get him up. Y'all remember that? And I was blown away. Like, this is so embarrassing. Mm-hmm. This man is giving you a hot dog and a Pepsi, and you about to fight your brother?
Absolutely.
I mean, she was a little lady too. She wasn't like no big one. She was a tiny lady, boy.
Right. But look at that on the local, real life level. Let's go to the national level. Is there any different than what they're doing to us when they give us social programs and welfare? It's no different.
Well, no, but that is
you got people out here that will fight to stay on welfare.
Yeah, well, and that's like, Jonelle says too. We need to learn the true definition of self-love. Mm-hmm. I mean, these people are out there trying to help you, and you're defending the people who are hurting you. That's God.
What is it that I always put at the end of your show? A quote by Steve Biko, the South African activist.
What?
If you guys don't know who Steve Biko is, there was a movie with Denzel Washington, mm-hmm. and it's called Cry Freedom. If you ever see that, it's about Steve Biko and the African movement. But the greatest tool of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed.
Oh, absolutely. And we keep falling for it,
mm-hmm.
But it was baffling. And then John always says, but if you love yourself, you strive to become accountable for what you produce, and you don't even just lay with anyone or a random person, okay?
Yeah, I learned
our people are still having random slave relating for the pleasure, legacy.
It's these oversexed black women.
You know what? You need to shut your mouth. Pleasure like animals, just for the feeling like the woman in 12 Years a Slave that just needed a hand. And the same goes for males. We have to break our stud minus, so we are prey to our pleasures without true knowledge of proper relating. Yeah, I mean,
I agree, but again, in every animal species, that is ingrained, and that's a biological thing. It's ingrained in us to mate with as many women as possible.
True.
Now we have intelligence, and like myself, I only have 2 kids because I realize if I wanted to live a certain way, I can't be having any more children.
And to your point about nature,
yeah.
As far as I know, in most wild animal kingdoms, the daddy, whatever, is there to take care of or do what they do. Well, they do by nature what they do with their children.
Right,
so by nature, we are supposed to take care of our children.
Right, but in the animal kingdom, like lions, bears, or whatever, the mother raises the
child.
But
the daddy is still there, though.
No, not in the bear and the king. He goes about his business.
Well, I said, what about Goldilocks and the 3 Bears?
Fiction, total fiction. But so I mean, and the reason that's instilled in men like that is for the survival of the species. I mean, if you don't, I mean, I'm not saying it's right,
but there's some sort of unison going on,
right?
It's not just all right, put a kid in you, so you don't have to hunt me down.
Yeah.
And Honey says, I commend the ATC for standing their ground and pushing the line. It's just heartbreaking to see the lack of respect.
Yeah.
And that's why, and admittedly, I'm out here in the Inland Empire, and I am going to make it my goal to get out there. But people who are in the area, get out there. I share the videos. If you live in LA,
it's too hot.
It's too hot. But you got people in the community.
No, the NFL's on.
Really?
The game is on. I can't go.
I mean, get out there and help.
Oh, I gotta get my hair done. I got a hair appointment.
Well, stop by before, after when you're cute, and get out there and help.
With Shaniqua, I got my hair.
You know what?
I gotta get my hair done. But by doing that, what I'm trying to tell everybody is we have all the excuses in the world why we can't fight for ourselves, but we want other people to fight for us, and that's not gonna happen. They're not gonna fight for us.
And
all this stuff that we talk about, these Mexicans, the kids are in cages and whatever. I have empathy for the kids. That are coming here on the border. Actually, I have nothing against Mexican people, whatever the deal is. But you know what? You fight your own battle. I got my own battle.
Yeah, and I don't think that's mean. It's the truth. Mm-hmm. That's what they coming to help your black ass.
Whenever I see a cop shooting a black person, I have yet to see any Hispanic person come to.
You don't remember that one Hispanic leader that was up there talking about black people and that was wrong? You don't remember?
I don't remember.
I don't
Not
even
even
I'm making it up.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And that's what.
How about that Asian lady? She was out there marching on the front line and talking about stop shooting black people.
Never seen it.
Never meet it.
Never seen it.
And Al says too many men who are good dads are being escorted. Now here you go with these big words. excoriated by not just the baby dad, but her nosy ass family and bitter girlfriends. Yeah, that's another thing too. It's like you listen, you're taking advice from the wrong people, but yeah, you know you should have took that advice from them before you lay down and had that child.
And you know what's funny? When let's say the girl gets pregnant, her dad, who was never in her life, you know, she's older now, so he comes around, he's out of prison. He wants to fight the guy that impregnated his daughter,
as he should. No,
well, you know, but I'm just saying. But he got kids. You know, it's like it's madness.
Yeah, and then Samuel says, "Al, you mean now he dealing with the 4 sisters on the Thumb Street at the corner of wrist and elbow? That's why I couldn't pass it up to y'all.
Yes.
Y'all want to encourage this madness."
Yes, please.
Jonelle says, "Our children do need sex education, but not taught by a drag queen or these perverted classes. The system Trump grabs them by the peak." I set up, I saw that video of the drag queen, reading the book, and she's like, "Do you guys know what a drag queen is?" And me and my daughter was watching it, and she was horrified, like, really? This is a thing? They're letting people get up and teach their children, like that should be my choice.
No. It's like you said, the child will distinguish.
No, you're not going to be reading to my 2-year-old, 3-year-old about no drag queen.
It's like my girl Rachel Bella. She's black. She's decided.
She's a trans sister.
Yeah, she's a trans sister. She's in transition.
Hey, Artemis, she says, we have to get our religious leaders in line. You can't love everybody, and this has to stop it. Oh, you know what? Thanks for bringing that
Fred Price don't give a damn about black people. Go ahead.
Thanks for bringing that up. That also reminds me there was a video, you guys have probably seen it, trending of the black pastors that was holding Maxine to task, talking about she needs to step down, she needs to resign.
Yeah, her violent, inciting violence. That isn't what we're about.
Yeah, she doesn't represent the black community. It's like, excuse me? Do you represent the black community?
No. Here's the thing. They're doing that because if Trump and them sees it, they do that for a payday.
Oh, come on, they on the payroll, all right. If it's a coalition of black pastors, all of a sudden now they want to speak for black people.
Because they see what that goat-faced pastor that was with Trump.
That goat-faced pastor.
He looks like a goat-faced. They see how far he got, and they want to.
Well, where did he go?
Oh no, he's still there. They got him on the lower. They got the lower level.
The crumbs from?
Yeah. Whenever they need him,
I was just like, you guys are just sick. Sick. We're gonna denounce Maxine.
Yes.
This doesn't represent the black community. Like, and you do now all of a sudden, huh? Where you been?
Yeah, all these religious leaders now got balls to come out and say stuff before they weren't saying nothing.
Trump told me you better do it. They say you don't listen to Jesus, you listen to me.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly.
And then Alex said, some men run for paying child support faster than my stepdad did when the church collection plate came around. And that's wrong. And Honey says, I want to also say that I truly admire the fathers that are actively involved in their children's lives. I see you and I love you, my black brothers.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Because there are a few of us that,
Actually, there's quite a bit of you who do. But, it's the ones that don't, y'all taking the sister through it.
Yes, I do get a little upset when I see old girl got her nails done and her weave done because the weave ain't cheap and stuff like that. And I'm paying $1,600 a month. I do have a problem.
Which he really was paying $1,600 a month.
So.
That means he was balling. Al says, you messed up the word earlier, excoriated. I'll probably mess it up again. And Jonelle says, it has purpose, the mating in nature, but the majority of us is mating via a drink, via a high, all for a feeling. So when a baby comes, we have baby mama, baby daddy. We are so far from the science of business.
You're right.
We bow down to our carnal desires. Ooh, you feel so good. You smell so good. You're saying the right thing.
15 minutes of pleasure for a lifetime.
Is that what it is now, 15 minutes?
Well, for me. But for 15 minutes, I'm a tiger.
Billy says, I give up to the Black Panther Party, National Defense, and African Town Correlation, being frontline soldiers against white supremacy, black power, all power to the people. Absolutely, you got to be the resistance, because if you don't, who will?
Right, that's right.
Ain't nobody else gonna do it. We can't we talked about Angela Rye last week. She was like, I just wanted you guys to acknowledge us. That's all I ever wanted. Really? Is that all you ever wanted? You begging these people to treat you right? That now we're gonna have to take that by force. I mean, I'm just saying, yes.
I have a quick question, and let me get 2 minutes of your time here. Recently, we had a person that is running for councilman out here in Moreno Valley.
Oh,
and I want to ask you this, especially, you know, because you have a black audience, and it's very important to black people, and just finish your comments. This person is running, he's been in the community for 25 years, so he says. He was 145th picked in the NFL draft, never became pro. He broke records at USC. I've never heard of him. A lot of people never heard of him. His sole title for running,
Or his mission. Or
his mission is running. His whole qualification is he played football. What do you guys think about that?
I think you need to, you know, batten up your resume a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I would think so. But and my question is this: why is it in our community we hold athletes in such high regard versus people who are either trained leaders or you know what I mean?
Because that's what gets glorified. The athletes.
Yeah, I was in the NFL. The guy is using the NFL, but he never played a down. So
well, because they're using that because they know, you know, oh, he's a football player. I'm gonna vote for him. Okay, great.
I play basketball.
How does he feel about what's going on with the gentrification in the district and this,
Right.
that, and the other? Well, hell, I don't know. I play football.
Right. Yeah. You have that Al Bundy mentality.
Yeah.
So you know.
And it used to know. It says in 2018, if you're still hoping, or he said, I think hopping with the church.
Mm-hmm. Hopping, jigging,
Hopping,
dancing.
yeah, I had a brain freeze right now. Hopping with the church, you're the problem. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
At some point in time, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to discourage people from going to church. I personally don't go to church.
You used to.
Well, I mean, I believe in God, and trust me, I know the word.
It's your personal relationship
I
with
know
God.
the word.
Right.
Yeah, it's a personal relationship with God, but the church it's morphed into something else. It's not what it used to be.
And in Revelations, me and Pastor Don do a show. We're talking about that. And if you want to go see it, go to News from Edgemont. It's all archived there. And all this is supposed to be happening with the church, with Donald Trump. And, you know, you're supposed to be aware of that. Christians are supposed to be aware because God
it's written.
put these out. It's
written.
Yeah.
Yes, and then Artemis, you give
So,
us
it's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing to be afraid of. But if you're reading your Bible like you're supposed to and interpreting it, it's very simple and plain. It says this is what's going to happen.
Right. And Jonelle says, they always get random niggas and pop labels of pastors and black leaders on them. Same COINTELPRO tactics haven't changed. We don't even know them fools, but they pose to be our representation. Just pops up. Yeah, it's like all of a sudden we supposed to listen to you now, huh?
Right.
Okay, well, where have you been?
Right.
You know?
Has Pastor down in Rubino, has he ever got that parking lot done?
Listen, it's coming.
30 years.
You wait for
He's
it.
working on it for 30 years.
You wait on it.
But he lives in a 1 point something million
God says
house.
don't be anxious for nothing.
Okay.
You wait. Even
got
if it is
classic
50
cars.
years. Listen, he can get a new car every week. You just keep waiting for that parking lot, okay?
I will.
When he gets all the cars he needs, then he will complete the parking lot so he can park all the cars over there, okay? You don't question the man of God.
Oh, got it. Got it. Because I think his membership has dwindled.
That probably has, you know. You help people trying to pay rent, damn tithes, you know. And Teddy says he's trash. Get him out of here.
Oh, she's talking about Leroy Bundy Holt is his new name, Tay. Bundy
You
Holt.
guys need to vote for him because he's an ex-football player.
Ex-football player.
Say he hasn't done anything outside of mentoring youth, quote unquote. He never seen him around. He's FOS. Don't vote for him.
Right. He's mentored youth, but Tay, isn't it funny that I was advocating for the Boys and Girls Club that's coming here? I didn't see him at one meeting.
He was busy.
He was busy.
Yes, he was playing football.
Playing football. Mentoring playing football. That was more important. But now a Boys and Girls Club in a city of 200,000 people that we sorely needed, that I advocated and made sure when I talked to the developer that this was going to happen. How many kids is that going to benefit?
Lots.
A lot.
And Honey says, I want to understand how Maxine Waters can't see our homeless and hunger problem that we're up against and not using her platform to address it. African Town Coalition feeds the homeless and help with resources as much as they can in African Town on Sundays. Yes, they absolutely do that.
I have an answer.
What's that?
It's hard to see the poor people when you're living up there on Signal Hill in your big gated community.
Something stupid.
Yeah, it's very hard in your real gated community.
Yeah, but you know what, honey? She's able to do it because she's just gotten away with it. Nobody's really ever held her to task.
Right,
you know, we as black people, we are just prone to voting for Democrats, and especially if there's a black face on it. Oh, well, shoot, she's got my vote.
Yeah, or she's been there so many years, I might continue to vote.
But and then, you know, we hear that she's for the people, but to your point, the things that you just outlined is like, well, is she really for the people?
And people are waking up. So yes, thank you. Let me give you a hand clap there. Yes,
and I told, but you know what? She should. Hopefully now she's starting to pay attention.
It's gonna be too late. She's gonna lose that.
I think she's gonna lose too because the Hispanics was like, "Thank you, Maxine."
Yes. Now you're giving us an excuse to come in and take that seat.
You out there just hoorahing it up for them, and here they go. They about to do you in. And Al says, I told my son's mom if she come after me with a diatribe, in a way, I will come back at her, the very ignominious, see, he tripping now. Since she didn't know what those big words mean, I never had any trouble with shit. You wouldn't have no trouble out of me either, because I'm like, Latay says, the Mexican council members and Ito are pimping this black guy, and he's allowing it, bending over for the sake of a dollar. But that's what a lot of our black politicians do. Bend over for the sake of a dollar. I got it, Massa.
Well, remember, Latay, I don't think you were here, but we had a guy named Luke Fuller. He took $15,000 from Highland Fairview. This guy was an ex-cop. He was against the warehouses until he got his white envelope. And then he lost the election, supposedly had a heart attack. We haven't seen Luke Fuller. I mean, he can't show his face around this community. It's just very sad.
Hey, and I hope I'm saying this right. Benicia, Black Power Queen, Black Power to you as well. And she says, Black Power comrades, she's speaking to the resident. Janelle says, Kwame Torre would always tell us to organize, organize, and organize. Got to.
And the thing is, you know, with all the technology, you don't really have to organize. Just get that message out there, because that's what you're doing with this show. I do with my shows. You'll be surprised at how many people have the same attitude that you might have and get that message out.
Right. Again, it's about delivery.
It's about delivery.
All right, she said, who are these pastors that speak for us besides Jesse Peterson, Jesse Jackson, and Reverend Al? I don't know. These dudes and there's a one woman.
And Goatface.
As you know, as Jonelle said, they just popped up out of nowhere. Like, well, I've never seen these people. All of a sudden, there's this Black Pastor Coalition.
The only people I know is TDJ, Creflo Dollar,
and you ain't heard a peep from them about none of that stuff.
Exactly.
And you're not going to. Hey, well, when you say Black Power,
these guys want to get paid.
Yes.
They want to get paid.
And honey say Black Power as well. Denicia says she is not for the people. I did what I did to let the Oath Keepers know we won't allow you in our neighborhood to do us no harm.
Amen.
So when you're speaking of what I did, are you speaking of the flag incidents? Is that what you're speaking of? Because if you guys don't know, the flag incident being that a flag was taken off of a truck that was driving by and set on fire. It's stomped on and set on fire. So that made national news.
Yeah, freedom of speech.
It made national news, you know, all over, you know, people making YouTube videos about it. They're appalled by all the stuff that's going on. It's like, and then what was said along with the flag burning was, this is not our country. Well, you guys refresh me on what was said along with it, but yeah, a lot of people were, you know, not happy about that. But I mean, it is freedom of speech.
Right. So,
and Al says, Al Jack joke of the day. My mom said, what club did D and Don go to? I said, Club Anti-Perspirant. She said, are you sure?
Where does he come up with this stuff?
I don't know. I'm kind of concerned sometimes.
You know, is it the, you know, it's kind of corny, Al, but I think it's maybe the white side of it.
It could be.
Yes. You gotta get some brother, you know, get some, you know, some brother stuff in there where you got the cursing.
He knows all that.
Yeah, I want to hear that side.
All that stuff. And so I'm going to transition to Quentin's question. We got about 5 minutes left. So I'm going to transition to his questions. I'll address you guys' comments as I see them. He wants to know, okay, when a man and a woman becomes one, is the man the head of the woman in a relationship? So let's say they got married, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Is he now the head of the woman?
Yes. And that's biblical.
What say you guys? I say, yeah, if you're following the principles of the Bible, yeah, he's the head. Now, see, I think when people hear, is he the head of the woman, I think people hear that in more like a barbaric sense. Come here, girl. You know, you read out of the book of Ike.
Right.
They think of it in that sense, but if you think of it of him being the leader and the head of the household, not necessarily the head of you, then yeah, you know, I agree with that. You're supposed to follow your man's lead.
And then I know we're modern age. Sometimes you get married, you don't take on your spouse's name. Women don't want to do that. But in most cases, women do. And here's one thing a lot of people don't know about this. If you have bad credit and your spouse has good credit, you could use her credit. You know what I mean?
Look at you finagling the system.
Well, there's a way to do it, and you work it out. But that, in most cases, the woman takes on the man's name and takes on his credit and stuff like that, and you go about your life.
And Secret Garden says, yes, hello, by the way. And Tay says, yes, he is. And Charles says, exactly, freedom of speech and won't stand with Kaepernick. Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't get it.
Right. They won't stand with Kaepernick, but then Trump will get on his knees for Putin.
You stupid. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way of thinking about it, right? Yeah. And then Secret Garden says she votes him as the head of the family. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be something she wants him to do. I mean, otherwise you're just going to be fighting. She has to realize, and he, you know, as they say, he has to be worthy of that. It can't just be any old dude, who, you know, who ain't worth his weight as a man trying to be, I'm the man of the household, I'm the man over you too.
Yeah, you're playing PlayStation and the shingles on the house ain't being done. The car needs oil change.
Nope.
You know, I mean, it takes a whole role. Husband means taking care of a wife.
Yeah, you need to get yourself together before you're trying to get ahead of me.
Right.
When the last time you had a bath sitting on the couch playing PlayStation all day?
Absolutely.
And Honey says, I wasn't a part of that movement because I pick and choose my battles of war, although I understand what the purpose of it happening. Maxine Waters needs to help out in the community. That's there to protect her. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying too. Okay now, Maxine. You see the people, even though you said, nah, stay home, see the people are still going to have your back and make sure nothing happens to you. Now, at least while you have the seat, do something. Do something that the people believed in you in the first place that put you where you are for 14 terms.
28 years.
My God, do something. Stop putting on the cake for people who ain't going to put on, because they're making it clear. Guarantee you all those people going to vote for Homeboy. Even though he's an avid Trump supporter, talking about cut off their welfare checks.
But they're on another agenda. That is their agenda.
Thanks, Maxine.
Yep.
We got it.
We got you on our radar.
Right. And Al says, if the man doesn't provide for his woman, then he shouldn't get any. He shouldn't get any head.
That's fair. I think that's
no pun intended.
Yeah. I think that's very fair.
I'll leave that for y'all, okay? And Honey says, yes, I agree, the man is the head of the household, but if he can't run it, he shouldn't be there. Absolutely. And any woman worth her weight. Why would you have a man, you know, be with a man? And listen, I'm not speaking from a point of perfectness, because hey, trust me, I've been there, done all that. But a woman worth her weight should not be with a man who is not able to do the very basics.
Right.
You know?
And everybody's got their own dynamic and their own strengths. But at the end of the day, she can make all the money in the world, Tay. I will still be the man in the relationship.
Well, no doubt. Money does not make you the head of the household. If the woman is making more money, I mean, if the man is making less money, he's still doing the things that men do. Hell, I mean, girl, sit down.
Right. You know,
let your man take the lead.
Right.
You know?
So I was thinking, me and Tay, we'd be clearing over 2.
Okay. Well, can I get a loan? And Charles says, if he living right, providing, protecting, and loving you, no woman will cherish that. 2 is 1. Absolutely.
Right. Let me give a quick shout out. Shaylinda Bernard, she's running for city council in District 4. Baby watch is still on. Good luck. I know it could come tonight, tomorrow, whenever, but keep your feet up. Get ready to go.
Okay. And then Jonah says, we got too many seeking gain and very few that truly desire change. More or less our own. Owning our own thing. Did you see Tariq Nasheed's new music video from Hidden Colors to R&B singer? Hold on. We are let's see. I'm sorry, that was funny. We are mentally slaves in a state of dependency and enjoying what we can't truly afford in a white nation that is anti-black and killing us. We must sober up from the illusions of inclusion. Yeah, I did see the video. Honestly, Jonah, I thought it was a joke. I did. It was some like way back in the day R&B feel. He's riding around in a drop top during the city, the nighttime, and he's singing.
My brother sent me that one.
I thought it was a joke. you serious? He should not quit his day job, whatever that is. He shouldn't be.
Yeah.
He shouldn't quit that. I'm not hating on the brother's dreams, but I'm confused. You want to like be the conscious dude, or you want to be R&B?
Right.
You want to be Eddie Kane Jr.? I mean, let us know what you're trying to be. And Houston said these women ain't following nobody but Cardi B. Now that's a damn shame right there. And
speaking true.
I mean, Cardi B is who she is. She's funny and she does her thing, whatever. But she couldn't be leading me nowhere. I mean, hell, her man didn't he just get arrested yesterday?
Just did.
And got like 5 kids.
Gun in the car. Why?
Why would she want to be doing? That's a whole other conversation. Y'all, Denise here. It says everything I did or is doing is to let them know I am a warrior. And I will fight for my people as well as my little girls. I stand up on a regular basis and love fighting for my black people. Hey, you know what? Ain't nobody ever gonna knock that.
Me too.
And and a lot of times people think that freedom is free. Oh, well, I just can't do that. Nah. I know you served 24 years in the military.
Yes, and everybody dogs. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it.
Thank you for your service.
Right, and you are free. You're welcome.
Am I?
Well. You ain't speaking Iraqi. I know that.
Back to what I was saying. And freedom is not free. Everybody, they want somebody else to do, or I just can't say that now. Because if I say and do that, then they not going to let, hire me. They ain't going to let me do this. And oh gosh, I'm just going to. Nah, I mean, sometimes you got to do stuff to get the attention of people, to let them know what you're willing to do.
Or to get
freedom.
where you want to go.
Absolutely. I mean, I ain't mad at you. Charles says Al is right. He's right sometimes. And Billy says it wasn't about just Maxine, it was about the community. We were not allowing the oath keepers to come do no harm to anyone in our community. We're just letting you know we are not our ancestors. Word them up.
Amen,
Word them
brother.
up. I mean, Maxine was just part of she was just the reason that they, were trying to come in, but then they also got reminded that we wish you would. Come on over if you want to.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Maxine's generation, the 60s, the baby boomers, very influential generation in the American history. They did a lot.
Yeah, they did.
But unfortunately, time changes, and these people aren't changing with the times. And so remember, they were the generation that started, don't trust nobody over 30. Now this woman's 70-something years old, and John Lewis, I'm on Martin Luther King. Nobody wants to hear all that. You know what I mean? You haven't done anything, and it's like if you're not going to be effective in what you're doing, just like Kenny Rogers says, you got to know when to walk away. You know what I mean? Am I right? And that's the problem. That's our problem. Their militancy has bought into the system, and that's when you got to.
From my cold dead hands, you will pry this
position from me, right? I mean, you got over $60 million. You're worth over $60 million. How much more money do you need in?
Just a little more.
It's
and Al says the only Bible study me and Dee will say is in Best Buy, and so God come forth and proclaim widescreen is the best. Samsung 16:9.
There you go. There you go. And I want to do a quick disclaimer. If Dee happens to not do her show next week, it isn't because she's sick. It isn't because of this. It isn't because of that. She will be taking some personal time for herself.
I deserve a break, don't
Yes, you do. Absolutely. And you will be broken.
Al says, if the woman doesn't have a high velocity fan in this hot ass weather, reevaluate your relationship. He's stupid. He sent the high velocity fan to my house. I walked outside and there's fans, big giant fan sitting there.
Did you get it installed?
It's a floor model.
Okay, but you're waiting. Okay.
But it blows all the stuff off of my desk and my wall. But it works. Thank you. And Denisha says, I'm a black queen. I fight hard for what I believe in. I'm not my ancestors. I will not lay down. I'm a single mom of 2. I set the goal to let them know that they have to fight themselves. We as women need to wake up and stand up. Black power. Absolutely. As we said before,
I'm with you.
A nation can rise no higher than the woman.
We got to get respect for this black woman.
Unfortunately, we got to get out there and get our hands dirty too. We can't just keep sitting back and saying, well, somebody will do it. Now the man is supposed to lead the way, but we're not helpless either.
Well, like I said, as long as my Afro Thunder gives me what I need, I will be out there on the front lines.
That's the way it works. Okay. Jonelle says, yes, his sidekick looked like I Spy versus Spy. Golly, y'all hard. And then she says, I follow myself. I know that's right. He says the flag was just the beginning to the public eye. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you got everybody's attention because I've seen it, you know, on my news feed, YouTube, and I've seen people post various news segments. So yeah, you definitely got people's attention. But you know what though? It let people know, you know, South LA ain't to be messed with. You might want to re-strategize all that you was talking about doing because they gonna give it to you. So, and then Eric, he say, how's your husband Eric Jackson from Star Furniture? Who's that? My husband Eric Jackson? Who's Eric Jackson? I only have an Al Jackson, not an Eric Jackson.
There you go.
And Al says, my stepdad always was a leader. One time he went to Popeyes, asked for a 2-piece original with a Coke. The clerk and said, and your side? My stepdad said, just a cup of water. The bee already ate. Oh my God. Jonelle says, but that's the thing. We are so programmed to give our ideas, mind, time, and all of our energy, intelligence for the advancement of this white nation and nothing for ourselves and children truly while dying in a 360 system of redundancy and death, we are on self-destruction as people instead of my self-improvement and self-production, as well as the true independence as a nation within a nation of white colonizers. No, I mean, I totally agree with you on that. We got to stop being used because everybody just takes from us everything, every single thing.
Our culture, everything.
Honey says, some of us have jobs and we need to be able to keep what little we have. I'm a hardworking woman and I support the people that's on welfare, but it needs to be used as a stepping stone, not a long-term lifestyle. No, absolutely. And, you know, I don't want to come across as, you know, we should jeopardize our livelihood because let's be honest, those of us who live in California, it's hard out here. You know, and you lose your job, it's like, oh my God.
Because everybody giving paycheck to paycheck.
That little, you know, whatever the county is giving people for, you know, cash aid and food stamp shit, that ain't gonna pay this $1,600 apartment.
Yeah, you still gotta come up with the other part.
Yeah, so I mean, I always be wise, but just, you know, think of this notion. If we as black people start pooling our $1.3 trillion together, we could create our own jobs, and guess what? We could say what we want to say without fear of, you know, retribution or retaliation or any of that other stuff. So that's what we need to do. You think about all those people, the white people that we've seen in the media recently get fired. You don't think that they people got a GoFundMe? Or you don't think one of their people have contacted them? Oh, Sally, don't worry. I got a position here for you and it's going to pay you just exactly what you were making. In fact, you're going to be making more. They're like, we don't care if you call them all types of niggas.
And their church will give them money.
And so they take care of their own people. So we got to get to that point where we say, you know what? Forget that job. We got our own job. We're going to hire our own people. But I know that's a ways away, honey. So I absolutely understand where you're coming from. We all need to pay the bills. So I totally agree with you. And as speaking of Bro D, will sing me off a piece of that
Kit Kat.
Break me off that Kit Kat bar, and I will sing I Want My Baby Back rib. Well, I'm a vegan, so.
Yes.
But anyway, I don't see any more comments. I will address them as I am leaving off of here. As always, thank you to Donovan for putting all this on. The green screen will eventually be a video on YouTube. The podcasts have already left, but anyway, thank you to them. I will not be here next week because Al is going to be in town and we are going to be at Magic Mountain. Lord, pray for me, give me some Dramamine and all of that. So I will be back the following Sunday. And as I said at the top of the show, when you see our brothers and sisters out there protesting and trying to bring awareness to the things that are going on in our community, go out there and lend them some support. Whatever you got, like myself, I'm in public relations. I have 2 degrees, not that I talk about them a lot. I have a BA in communication and a master's in public relations. And so I would be remiss not to use my gifts and my knowledge and my talent not to help my people. That's it. To me, those degrees don't mean anything if I don't use them to do those things. And so we all have gifts and talents and things that we can do to help further our people. And so if you have that gift, use it, even if it's for 5 minutes. You know, like, get out there. It is my goal to get out there, but I want to stand on the front line as well and be able to use my gift to talk to some of these people. Hey, you know, A, B, C, and D, did you know? And all, you know, we got to do our part, because we can't keep expecting everybody else to do what we need to be doing. And I'm going to read you guys' comments. And Jonelle says, we have resources. We are just trained mainly to give back and place it in the wrong places, mainly giving back. I'm giving it back instead of building our own economics for true power and land. Yeah, we. What are we gonna do? Wait till we back on the plantation?
Yes.
I ain't gonna be on the plantation.
That's what's gonna happen. I'll be in another country, so I ain't gonna worry about
it. No, you gonna be on the plantation too.
Yeah, keeping y'all niggas in mind.
No, we gonna be out there, Edson.
Yeah,
I got this cotton for you, boss.
I'll be like that guy on live. Yeah, man, so I'm gonna shoot some niggas out here today. I'll be that guy.
You're gonna be bending and picking, quit lying. And Honey says, imagination is powerful, but it's just that until we support black-owned businesses, it's still a dream. Absolutely, we are a ways away from that. Not impossible, not the impossible dream, but
it's gonna take a minute.
We just gotta do it. And Al says, all right, hell with it, since your audience is laughing at my jokes, I'm throwing rocks and not my hands. Tasha left ghost. This fool is talking about some power. Jonelle says, support Minister Farrakhan economic program, 5 cents or more. I do. I do. He's asking 5 cents a day for the blueprint program, and so I do that. That's at least you can do, you know, or however much you want, but at least do that. Help, you know, to build something. Honey says, thank you both for this open discussion. It was very informative. Black Power. No, thank you.
Thank you for listening. Please like and share.
Guys. And don't ever mistake that. It's not us, me and Donovan. It's everybody that makes this show possible. So thank you. And then Al says, take your show on the road at Magic Mountain while I get on the new Crazy Sanity ride, because I ain't going to be on there with you. And Jonelle says, actually, it's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's economic program for our survival, economic empowerment, and growth. Right. Absolutely. So, yeah, go on. I forget the actual website, but I think you can go on NOI.org, and they have a link to that to donate toward that, to build a farm and all that kind of stuff. And then Alice says, all praises due to Allah. Thank you, Queen. Oh, thank you. And then Billy says, peace and blessings, Queen. Black power, all power to the people. We will talk. Love you as well. Yes, we will talk. And Jonelle says, peace, Queen, and Donovan and fam. And Al says, I hate when things take forever in the day. I don't mind waiting forever. It's just the extra day that kills me. Lord have mercy. All right, you guys. I will see you guys not next week, but the week after. If you guys want to, you know, chat it up, whatever, inbox me, and we'll do what we got to do. So I will see you guys later. Peace.
2 + 2.